What's up, guys? I figured I would do something different. Honestly, I thought I would tell you my life story. Like some gamers do a draw out their life story, but I'm gonna tell it. I was born in Rochester, New Hampshire. Um, I was born on May 30th, 1994, and in the time of my birth, I wasn't well as a newborn. I was very, very purple, very, very almost dead. I had the belly button cord around my neck, and I grew up in Summersworth for about a year when I was born. After I was born, then we moved to my original mom's home to Winchester, Mass. I was a white boy in the projects, and I went to school as a normal kid, walked to school, but when I went to school every day, there was this bully that would punch me in the face with brass knuckles and bully me very, very bad, would beat me up with 5 other kids in the schoolyard. And I would come home every day like a black eye. Every day, probably a couple bruises and sometimes even a bloody nose and bloody busted lip. By the time I was 6, I started my first day of elementary school, and not too many kids liked me because I was slow and I had learning disabilities because of the umbilical cord being wrapped around my neck as a baby. And so on and so on. I went to school, got bullied some more. And then when I came home, I would always look forward to, no matter what it was, no matter how much I was getting bullied, kicked in the freaking face, beat up, I always looked forward to go home and play my N64 and my copy of Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time and my 2 other games, Duke Nukem 3D and Majora's Mask. I always looked forward to that. I started my first day on 3rd grade, and something didn't feel right. I wasn't getting bullied. I wasn't getting bullied. That whole day, for about that whole week, I didn't get bullied. And I asked the kid, my teacher, where's Jackson? They pulled me aside and they said, Jackson won't be around anymore. About a day later, the day after that, my mom was reading in the newspaper that a kid I went to school with that she didn't like, and she didn't like his father. His father beat him to death, and he died at roughly 6.5 years old. His father beat him to death with a freaking wooden cane that his grandfather used. I felt sad inside, but that in the inside I actually felt like not happy, but sad for the kid because he probably had a worse life than me, but not really. By the time I started my last year in elementary school, my father did something to me, and this was about when my brother was still in my mom's stomach. He sexually abused me because I didn't really know what that was at that age because I was so young. I didn't know what that was, and I was sexually abused so much that I didn't know what it was. And then when my brother was born, he left, and he also left when I was born. And then about 2 months after my brother was born, he came back and he was cooking dinner. And I didn't want to eat. I didn't really feel hungry because I also was still getting bullied and he didn't give a fuck. So I picked it up from being upset, and he told me if you don't eat that puke, I'm going to shove it down your throat for you. I said, okay, I went to my room. My mom and him were arguing, and my mom just had enough. My mom grabbed my brother and said, I'm leaving with the kids and I'm going to David's. My father said, no, you're not. You stand right here. My mom grabbed me, and then he went to hit me, and he was beating on my mom with my baby brother infant in her arms. Beating on her in the corner. So you know what I did? I fucking just snapped. I was institutionalized because of this, because at fucking like 7 years old I was institutionalized because I beat my fucking biological father leg in because with a fucking monkey wrench, fucking bam, right against his fucking leg. And he got arrested, and then it was proven he had multiple child molestation charges before this, and my mother didn't know this. Time went on. I was having my Uncle Kevin and my Uncle David around a lot as like father figures. And a lot of the times there was a lot of violence between them. I had very, very bad traumas in my childhood from being molested by my father, beaten physically, sexually, verbally, and all shit. And then, like, there would be really bad violence in my family between my uncles, my older cousins, and always fights and shit. I saw no shit that a normal kid should see. And, like, a lot of violence, a lot of arguing, a lot of this. There would even be an issue where my cousin Nick and my cousin Crystal got threatened by this guy, and my Uncle David beat the fuck out of this dude so bad. By the time I was in high school, junior high, in my eighth grade, I wasn't getting pushed around no more. I was an angry kid. I was a very, very angry kid because I didn't let anybody bully me or bully anyone. I would smash in their face if they were a bully, and I was a bully to a bully. I wasn't a person that bullied anyone. No, I was the person that bullied the bullies. If you were a bully, I would smash your fucking face in between a locker. Keep smashing it, keep smashing it. In my 7th grade year, I was suspended more than 16 times and then expelled for, I think, 3 or 4 months of my 7th grade year. By the time I was in high school, I didn't go straight to high school. I was in John Powers, the Castles, East of Seals, and then I went to Dover High, where I met a lot of friends, and I got real good friends. And when I was about 19, I wasn't supposed to graduate high school until I was 21 because of my learning disabilities and being angry all the time, getting into fights. So I went to the store for my mom, and I went over across the street to check if the people were alright, and I still get called whatever they call me, but I don't care, because I know I didn't do it, and I got accused of something I didn't. When I was 19, I think it was some vacation, and it was like the day before. I know it was actually a weekend. It was a weekend, and I went down the street to see if the people were alright, because their house was on fire. And then cops came up to me, started freaking putting words in my mouth, and then accused me of something I didn't do. I went to jail for 5 months. No, actually a little bit over 5 months. 7.5 months. I went to jail for being accused of burning down a house I didn't burn down. And whoever did it ruined my life. And I learned a very valuable lesson. Don't trust anybody, not even cops, because they're not even good people like they should be. But there will be a part 2 of this video, and I'll tell you that next time, and it goes even deeper.